Hello everyone, here is Groskamp here from Team Infinity, and today in this video I want to talk about gearing. I have here the Infinity IF15 and I have here all the gears that we have for the car. And in this video I want to explain what gears I use, when to change gears, what is the most common used gearing, and which way you have to go with the gearing. First of all, as you know, the 110 scale nitro car has 2 gears, and the standard gearing on our car is 16-21. So the first gear is 16, the second gear is 21, and the spur gear is 54 and 59. So that's the most common used gear, and this gearing works on most tracks with most engines. So when to change the gear? Now, for example, if you're running on a very small track, of course on the pinion you cannot go any smaller than 16 and 21, but on the spur gear, if you go bigger spur gear, you actually make the gearing shorter. So I recommend to use on a short track 60 and 55. The reason I always keep 5 tooth apart from the first and the second gear is how the car shifts from first to second gear. For example, if you change the first gear to a 60 but the second gear to a 54, then you have 6 tooth different. The second gear will be a little bit slower because the RPM will drop more. So that's why I usually prefer to use 5 teeth in between the first and second gear. So again, on the short track I recommend 16-21 and 60-55. On a big track, sometimes you can use 58 and 53 on the spur gear, but you remain 16 and 21. That is with most engine. Now I remember in the past, especially with the Novorossi engine, you have a lot of torque, and actually with this engine you can go up with the pinion to 17 and 22. It's not common so much, but at some tracks which were a little bit big, a little bit long straight, you actually can go to 17-22, but then at least you run 60 and 55, so the biggest spur gear with the biggest pinion. Another reason to change the gear is the tire and the tire wear. If you're running on a high bike track, you usually run smaller tire, but of course if you run a smaller tire and you want to make the same top speed, you can actually go faster in the gearing. So for example, on a track that you're running smaller tire, you can go up to spur gear 58 and 53. In Europe, in the finals, from 45 minutes that I know when the tire will wear out a lot, I will go 1 spur gear longer on the second gear. That means I go 1 teeth smaller. I go to a 53. So I remain 16-21, and on the first gear I remain 59, but on the second gear I go 53. The reason I do that is when the tire gets smaller, you get a lot of RPM, especially on the straightaway, and you don't want to overkill the engine too much. So that is the reason I go a little bit longer gear, just to save the engine as well in the finals. Again, the IF15 has 3 different first gears, 3 different second gears, and 2 different pinion gears on the clutch bell. Try for yourself what suits you the best, which engine you use, what track you use, how big are your tires. There's a lot of things to play with, so try yourself and see what's best for you. I hope you enjoyed this video again, and see you next time.